Okay, so let's get right to this. Basically, you know how this works. The way it works is pretty simple. You call this phone using 407-279-1754. Again, 407-279-1754. And when you do that, what happens is I will basically have it ring through the law firm phone number, and then I will answer that same phone, and it will basically allow me to talk to you through the system. Now, I'm going to put the microphone a little bit more like this. The gig is very simple. Okay. There are some rules. The pool rules for getting free information about how to fix essentially your social security benefits, how to maximize them, etc. Very simple. One legal question, have it ready up front. No story mode. You get 5 to 7 minutes. We're not going to go beyond 30 minutes because I've got to do a video after this. Keep it on point. Don't stack questions. I'll let you stack one more question, but I'm not going to let you keep stacking questions over and over again. Be aware that other people need a chance to go ahead and get their question in during this. So, one last time, you call 407-279-1754. Remember, we're doing this at 11:20 p.m. on May 12th, and we usually do this on Mondays and Thursdays. It's supposed to be at 8 p.m., but I'm always working super late, so I don't always get to it. Now, with that said, please, please, please remember 5 to 7 minutes per call. You get one legal question. Don't stack your questions. No story mode. Don't be pushing a particular this thing or that thing. Here we go. Here's the first call. We got it rolling. Speaker is on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
I'm on SSDI and my wife's on SSI, or my girlfriend. Is there a way we can get married and not lose our respective disability insurances? 'Cause we're scared we're living together, but we're scared even just living together that we're going to get screwed and lose our disability.
Yeah, I mean, you guys
Does that
should
question
be
make sense?
you guys should be fine because a lot of the restrictions are on the SSI person. You're not two people receiving SSI, so there's no marriage penalty rule, stuff like that. So I mean, the reality here is this: I'm assuming you're not earning like an extra income on top of things, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So bottom line is there's no direct rule that's really going to come and get you unless there's more income on the table. So you should be okay. I mean, look,
They won't count my income as an addition to hers, or her income as addition to mine.
no, it's a benefit that you paid for previously, so they shouldn't be counting that against you. The reality is this: if you have additional earned income on top of that, then you're going to start hitting some thresholds when they do what's called the deeming exercise as to how much you're earning. But you're not earning over your, SSDI, right?
No. Our fear is just like losing the health care and whatnot. We want to get married, but we're scared getting married. They'll look at it as a dual something household. But no, neither of us work. It's just living together that we're afraid of being caught living together.
How long ago did you guys get, start living together?
Oh, 6-7 years.
When did she go on SSI benefits?
Oh, I think I'm guessing here, but I think it's more than 15 years ago.
All right, so then she's going to be
I've
stuck
been
on SSI.
SSDI since 98, 99.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, 2008.
Okay. So she's stuck on SSDI. Bottom line is this, or sorry, she's stuck on SSI. You can't get her to go on to essentially SSDI. So yeah, the one thing you got to watch is what's called deeming for spouses and how it's affecting for SSI purposes. SSDI benefits, it doesn't affect in any way. Look, if it were me, the way I would do it is I would go ahead and basically find a way to get her onto SSDI benefits by getting her some quarters of coverage earnings so that she has more income, and then, cover things while, you're basically setting that up so that she gets enough quarters of coverage. And, what you do is you go ahead and file, the end of 1 year, you make sure she has enough QCs. The beginning of the next year, you make sure she earns enough for the rest of the QCs. And then the bottom line from there is, you file that with the IRS because she earned the money and she earned the quarters of coverage. And then you go ahead and switch her over to SSDI benefits. It's not immediate, it's not fast, but that's what I would be focused on, because to me, having to live an entire life being subject to the SSI income restriction rules is absolutely terrible. It's inhumane at this point. So That's what I would do. But again, you do your own thing. But indeed, good sir, that's the direction I would go.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate your help.
Absolutely, good sir. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Excellent, excellent. We're going to take the next caller now. We did have a bunch of people basically text-a-rooing in. So let me see what we got over here. Hold on. Let me see. I'm just going to go over to, hit the button on speaker. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead. Yep, go ahead. We're talking through the phone. Go ahead.
Yes, my name is Jason Avery.
Howdy.
How are you doing?
Good.
Yeah, I had a question for you. I have a review hearing coming up, or coming up. I have a doctor's appointment they're scheduled me for an over the phone video call. To see about my mental status. And I'm wondering if I should get an attorney. I've been on for 25 years and they've never touched me. Never had any, not even a, yeah, never checked on me at all. And then all of a sudden they are here after 20 plus years of being on. And yeah, it's kind of got me rattled.
Well, all right. Let me ask you this, like with this particular situation. Real quick though, Diana, thank you for the $3 donation. That's absolutely amazing. I love the little My Hero fluffy doggy there. That's absolutely amazing. So that's very, very cool. Super amazing. Love that little cute dog. So good sir, with your situation, is there anything that could have triggered a CDR to essentially create a CDI unit investigation? Yes. Okay, so walk me through that.
And I've been an avid fan of yours. I've been watching. Yes, I believe what I've done is I've held on rule. I've not kept up with doctor's appointments. I haven't seen the doctor in years.
Okay, so you haven't seen the doctor for years, and what am I missing?
I mean, years.
Like, what else am I missing though? Like, give me some direction on this.
Oh, I just figured that would be enough. Yeah, I mean, you talked about how that was the biggest thing. Is if you don't keep a regimen of where you're going, at least once every couple of months, they're gonna start wanting to know why. Because yeah, didn't you say it shows a level of that you become stable?
So I mean,
why not if you don't go to the doctor for
it is
for a regular period? I mean, I'm talking I haven't done in like 7 years.
What I'm trying to figure out from this situation is, did you do anything, or is there anything on file? Because look, if you haven't been to medical for a really long time, that means you're probably not that bad. So as a result of that, this is one of the situations where we'll look at it and we go, is this guy really that bad? Is he not?
I can't think of it. I'm agoraphobic. That got really bad, and I stayed indoors. I mean, it's pretty bad. The agoraphobia part's pretty bad. And that's really what that stemmed from. I'm not going to my doctor anymore. And I just kind of let it encapsulate me. I'm pretty much down to one room in my house. But I can't think of anything else that's happened, or I don't. Can't think of anything that's happened. I got put in jail a year and a half ago, but then the charge was all dropped. It was a mistake, and they let me go. They had to apologize to me. But that's the only thing.
All right. So, I mean, it's going to be hard finding an attorney to go ahead and rep you on that whole situation, because the attorneys, we just don't make enough in disability land. So, taking that on.
What if,
yeah. So, I mean,
I do have the ability to pay you.
Sure. Yeah. But I remember too, anything we get paid when we're representing somebody, it has to be approved, blessed by the SSA first. If we just like advise you on stuff, but we don't actually represent you, that's how I do my 250s. Like if I don't actually rep you before the SSA, I just advise you about what the rules and regs are, and I don't have to go by them approving the whole thing ahead of time. So the point I'm getting at here is, all right, so what this really comes down to, okay. All right, so what have they sent you so far in letter form pertaining to what they want to do?
The Oklahoma State is about, it's just telling me that is under review. Here, I've got it right here.
Okay.
that I'm under review. But tell me, first of all, it says this is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very important letter from Social Security. Please read carefully. Can't read it. Yes, can't read English. Get help. We are the office that makes disability decisions with the Social Security Administration. This letter is to remind you to keep. Yeah, this is to tell me I have an appointment for. Then it lists the provider date, Thursday, May 15th. Mental status exam. Provider may decide not to or do some of the tests we ordered, or that other tests are needed. And then special instructions. Are you familiar with this form letter?
Yeah, wait. So
in
it, did they say that they were going to go ahead and like you're going to a CDR? Or are they just saying in the letter that they might plan to send you?
No, it doesn't say that I'm having an active review. It just says that I have to meet go to this appointment. And I did call my person. And she corrected that too. She said, "No, you're not having a review yet. You're saying you have to keep this. You have to come to the medical appointment."
No, if you're having a medical appointment, then you are under review. And if they're telling you that you're not, yeah, man, if they're telling you that you're not under review and they've got an appointment set up,
money on me, you're checking me out. Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I would very much be aware of.
So this is what bothers me. This is the second appointment. The first appointment. The first time I got this letter,
yeah,
I was ready for the appointment. I waited the phone call. I got no phone call. Got nothing. I called them immediately, started calling, trying to get hold of them, say, "Hey, I was here, phone ready, just like it says to do," and I got no phone call. And the lady had to tell me that, yeah, basically that's still my fault. And I'm like, how? I don't understand how that's possible.
Quick question: the first
right now that they can't.
The first interview, was that a medical interview or something else?
The mental health exam, same exact thing that they're having me repeat on Thursday.
Man,
right here
is it going to be over the phone or are you going to drive there?
No, they don't give me an option. It's over the phone. It's over internet video call.
I mean, from my perspective with this thing, they're looking into you for some reason. I don't know what the background or baseline reason is, but I would be just very aware of the things that you basically post online or do in person. Yeah.
Think about this. Could this be a factor? There's an attorney that's looking in. I have an inheritance that's kind of being doled out that I haven't gotten the first check yet, but they've been looking into me for that. An attorney has. And that's just about be done. But it's not for that money. It's for like $80,000. Not a huge amount.
They're doing a mental assessment.
I haven't received it yet, so.
Yeah, I mean, to me, they're doing a first assessment here to see if you're still disabled. They're doing an 8-step sequential process. Look, the best thing you could do, the best thing you could do is just go ahead and basically, figure out, well, all right, so they're going to do an assessment. Go learn about what the 8-step sequential process is, because that's what they're likely.
I've been watching.
Yeah. So have you studied that at this point or no?
Well, I've been going over. You have a video about what they were on the mental side that goes over, how questions should be answered for that.
Okay.
And that's the video I'm going to review now. I've seen it one time, and I'm going back to review it.
Okay.
Over and over again.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because you break this down.
Yeah, I try to make it easy for everybody. And then, some people really appreciate it, and some people want to know where I live so they can end me. Yeah.
No, I'm a fan, dude. I'm a fan.
Thank you.
You have no idea. I think what you're doing is a complete, bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are so, I've been, I envy you. So, I went through a court program 10 years ago here in Tulsa County.
Sure.
Where I was down there all the time doing one of those, it was drug court program, but it was a mental health court program. I was in mental health court.
Yeah.
And, I would have loved to have done that. When I got out, I stayed sober, and as soon as I got done with that, I would have loved to have worked with those people and done that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I would loved it. So I get your zest for it and why you love it. And big fan. But
Thank you, good
so
sir.
yeah, I need to go
Yeah.
watch that stuff over and over again for this, huh?
Yeah,
I'm
7
sorry, I
or
just got
8 step.
really
Yeah,
blindsided by it. It scared me to death.
yeah. I would just
It scared me to death. I mean, it's
yeah. I mean, 8 step sequential process is gonna get you
been
what
my
you
income
need.
for 25 years, and
Yeah. Now realize you
my
gotta
wife
get
does really well, but I don't.
yeah, you
You
gotta
know,
get
I don't want to not have an income.
yeah, you gotta get a specialist for each one of your impairments though. You know, like it wouldn't be a bad idea to
Yeah.
have, behavioralist, psychiatrist, psychologist, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be a bad
Yeah,
idea.
I agree.
Yeah, because at the end of the
Yeah,
day,
I thought
yeah.
immediately I thought, man, I might need to go in for inpatient stay or something.
Hmm. That would be advisable.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know?
That-
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Man, this may be time for an inpatient stay.
I mean, it's up to
So
your
they can get-
impairments as to what's causing it, what you're feeling, etc. But just be aware, if you haven't been to medical for a really long time, you are on their radar.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Just exactly like you said. Yeah, I'm big years, 10 years.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I just didn't think about it.
no
I
worries.
thought if I, stay away from it, the better off I am. But now I know I get it now. I understand.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you. I am a fan. Thank you so much.
Thank you, good sir.
I'll
Yeah.
continue to watch and continue to do stuff.
Perfect, good
But
sir.
yeah, I bless you for what you're doing.
Thank you, good sir. Well, you have a wonderful, wonderful day, okay?
Take care.
Thank you, good
Bye-bye.
sir. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Man, good guy. Good guy.
Thank you. We're going to take the next call real quick. Except, here we go. Speaker on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Hey, Walter, I just wanted to ask. I have called several times trying to find out when I'm going to have a CDR
Sure.
because it's been 7 years I've been on disability now.
Mhm.
And every time I call, they either give me a bogus date
Mhm.
or they tell me, oh, we don't see anything in the system for a CDR for you.
Mhm.
Is that possible?
Yeah, it is. I mean, so remember, they've technically got more than 4 categories, but the simple way to look at it is like the 4 categories. You got your 1 year, your 3 year, and your 5/7 years, and then you got your basically like they'll check in if they see improvements somewhere down the line. You're probably in they'll check in if they see improvement somewhere down the line, but you remember, age is a factor, the type of impairment is a factor, vocational instability or inability is a factor. So, like, what's your current age?
I'm 62.
Okay, so you're still in the review area. What's your main impairment?
I had a traumatic brain injury, and I'm just all jacked up from that.
Mhm.
I got rear-ended by another semi while I was driving a semi, and had a brain bleed, and it gave me epilepsy, and it was just a mess.
Yeah. I mean, from my perspective, like, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, you're not going to be somebody that a boss, a coworker can rely on to correctly, consistently apply, work actions. So, like, you're not going to be somebody that's high on the list for review.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you so very much.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
for
you.
letting me know that.
Yeah, absolutely. But, yeah.
I don't want to keep holding you up. You have a wonderful night, and God bless you.
You as well, good sir. Have a wonderful night. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Uh-huh.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. That guy gave me really good vibes. Like, really, really good vibes. Like, I've been having a bad day, and that was some good vibes. It just kind of lifted me up. That in combination with some of this, and I'm starting to feel better. Here we go. Let's get this next one. Speaker is on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Yes. I was calling to ask you, like, when you're on SSI,
Uh-huh.
and you got like 3 different things wrong with you, and you had, like I said, you have SSI, and I've been on it since I was in high school, and like one of the problems like causes me to get hot at times, and I get like nauseated and get real sick. And you remember when you were talking about the other day on one of your videos that they were going to start making people work? Would that cause people to have to start working?
Wait, so real quick, you're on SSI, you get hot when you're working. They want people to work. Yeah, I mean, they're going to be more aggressive with getting people back to work. But is the question, are they likely to make you get back to work? Or what was the question? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. If I get real hot when I work, get real hot and nauseated and get sick, will they make me start back going to work? Because see, I'm also epileptic and could have a seizure on the job.
So the big thing here that they look at is essentially, would you be able to consistently work at a job full time? And as a result of that, would you, through your impairments and the combination of those impairments and the symptoms, signs, side effects of your medications, be unable to consistently work? So if you've got medical documentation that shows that you would consistently have difficulty doing a job, then
Right.
what we're talking about is you get a vocational allowance and continue with the vocational allowance, where you wouldn't be able to work. So,
Okay.
the main thing that you have to kind of keep in mind with this whole structured situation is, are you unable to work, and what evidence do you have that provides for your inability to go ahead and continue to work?
Right. Because I also have low thyroid and chronic constipation.
Yeah. So a big thing that a lot of people don't really understand is that when you have gastrointestinal issues, that's a big thing
Right.
that makes it more likely that you will be found disabled, because at the end of the day,
Uh-huh.
when you are constantly going to the bathroom, spending time in the bathroom, off task because of bloating, pain, etc., through the intestinal tract, through your stomach,
Mhm.
etc., or maybe you have an esophagus issue, then what happens is you
Right.
become super unreliable to do a job. And, not that you're not a great person, you just, for
Right.
all intensive purposes, you would not be reliable to do a basic job in the national economy.
Right. Because that's also what I think is causing me to have nausea and get hot a lot.
Mhm.
And that's what I wanted to call and ask you about. Because that other night when you were doing that video
Mhm.
about people having to go back to work that's on SSI,
Mhm.
it kind of got me upset when I saw it. And I'm like, oh, Lord, how am I going to go back to work? I was like,
Sure.
please help.
Sure. So, I mean,
And so I just
yeah.
wanted to go ahead.
You just have to keep in mind with a lot of that stuff, like, it's specific to the individual.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people who are on
Right.
SSI that potentially could go back to work. And they're going to
Right.
be looking for them. But remember, gastrointestinal people tend to be lower, neurological impairment individuals, cardiovascular impairment individuals, gastrointestinal impairment individuals, those, they're not fibros. You know what I mean? They're not fibromyalgias. Although fibro would be under the
Right.
neurological assessment. But again, it's fibro. You know what I mean? We're not talking about there's some spinal cord injury. So,
Mm-hmm.
the point that I'm getting at here is you have to consider what your impairments are and the likelihood of your ability to go ahead and consistently work. Because
Uh-huh.
somebody like you would probably get a job and then get fired from a job relatively quickly.
Mm-hmm. And I don't want to be on a job and have a seizure or something and fall out on the floor. And
Sure.
it'd be embarrassing as heck.
Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah. I mean, you're a liability for sure. No doubt about it. Yeah.
And I mean, I also have GERD along with the constipation. So I have like 4 things wrong with me.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. No,
But
totally.
that's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that's all I wanted to clarify, find out all them details.
Perfect. Perfect. Well,
Okay.
sounds good. You have a wonderful, wonderful night. Okay.
All right. You too.
Thank you so much. Bye
Thanks.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
All right. All right. Bye.
Perfect. We're going to take another caller. I know we're going a little bit over we're coming up to the 30-minute mark. It's 23 minutes, 48 seconds. Let's see what we got going on. Let's get the next caller in. We got the next caller in coming in right now. Let's get the speaker on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Hi, this is Jay. I had a question about when I was first approved for disability, it had to do with my mental health, but afterwards I've had a lot of problems with my physical health,
Okay.
a lot. And I'm wondering what I should do about that, if anything.
Well, you want to build it out. You want to build out all of the impairments so that you can show who, what, when, and where as to why you are severely impaired. Because when you add extra impairments to your list, when they do the 8-step sequential process review through a CDR, it's better for your case if you have a bunch of stuff that is added onto it because it shows, essentially that you are very limited in more than just the ways you were originally limited. And the main thing with the 8-step sequential process is they look to see if you're still disabled under the original impairments you had. And then if you aren't, then they go and switch you over to basically whether or not you're disabled under the old impairments you have that you still have, that along with the new impairments that you have added on top of that. So the main thing to keep in mind is you want to build out both your mental and physical impairments as much as you can because it's going to help you ultimately stay strong on the claim going forward.
Okay, so it wouldn't hurt me, or shouldn't hurt me. And then who or how would I go about doing that? I can't afford to, like an attorney.
Okay, so the main things that you want to focus on with this particular situation is, essentially, whatchamacallit, you want to go ahead and, build up the types of evidence. So you have all kinds of evidence. You have evidence of regular treatment, evidence of treatment with specialists, evidence of crisis medical treatment where you go to the hospital as a result of the impairments or a behavioral center or sanatorium or whatever. You have other types of evidence that you can collect that like supports the objectivity of it, right? Obtaining medications, consistently taking medications, a police report that showed something happened, yada, yada, yada. So, I mean, there's all kinds of evidence you can just start working on to build up your particular situation.
Okay, and other than like the police thing, I haven't been hospitalized for my mental health since 2020, but I still struggle with those and still take medication for that and everything. But will it be a problem that I haven't been hospitalized in 5 years?
Yeah, that's always an issue. You need to get on that because remember, you're proving every day that you wait without going and seeing medical treatment that you are not that severe. Because if you were that severe, you would end up in a facility.
Okay. I do have consistent therapy,
Mhm.
and like a chronic pain group and different things. So I take medication.
Sure. So just keep in mind, if you have consistent therapy, that's good. But the therapist that you go to is probably a master's level provider. And when they do a CDR, they're going to be sending you to a specialist, which means not just a doctorate, but somebody who received a master's or another doctorate on top of the doctorate. So your specialist is going to have very low probative weight as a comparison point for weight of evidence, especially since the 2017 change rule that came from Commissioner Saul, who Trump put in.
Okay. It's all a scary time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. But just get some specialists in there. That way you have some competing, weight of evidence. That way you're rock and rolling.
Oh, I have a lot plus other hospitalizations like medical.
Sure. Yeah,
So,
that's good. That's good. Very good. Just keep building it because remember, you want to look good on paper when the review day comes.
yeah, good in the worst way possible. And I guess like the chronic pain and everything contributes to the depression and the poor mental health. It's a vicious cycle.
The big thing is just make sure the paperwork knows the vicious cycle that you go through. A lot of people, they go through total shit and it's horrible. And I feel bad for them, but they just don't take that one extra little inch of a step to get them to the point where it creates the paperwork. Just always be sitting back wondering, how does this get converted to something that is a record, papered over as a document, a PDF somewhere?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank
I'll
you.
let somebody else take their turn.
Absolutely. You have a wonderful day.
Okay. I hope you get feeling better.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Okay. You're wondering. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Perfect. Here we go for the next caller. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question, good sir?
Yes, sir. Hey, Attorney Walter. I passed a CDR, and
Good.
that was now going on 2 years ago.
Good.
But they have been still using, I guess I would say, investigators on me.
Not good.
Recently I had to go get blood work, for this doctor. My red blood cells have been elevated in the abnormal range, and I tried waiting for my father to take me. It's only 5 miles down the road, but I waited and waited, and he couldn't get back at home to get me there before 5.
Sure.
So since it's just 5 miles down the road, I went and got there like 10 minutes before closing, came out, and then there was a CDI person that looked to be more so on the federal side. And, I don't feel good every day. I made it out the door of the hospital, threw up in the garbage can out front, slowly walked to the car, which wasn't far, and probably 40, 50 feet. And there was the truck that was sitting across. They got a clear view, and I guess they recorded me or whatnot. But
what's the legal question? Yeah.
Thanks. What do they have to gain by seeing you walk in and out of a doctor's appointment? Like, I'm at home 95% of the time, and my dad only takes me to his doctor's appointments and gets me to the train station, bus station to go to the ones I have to at Johns Hopkins for follow-ups. But what do they have to gain by just filming you walk in and out?
I mean, yeah, like, just to jump in, like, you got to understand, they're looking for people who might be fibbing as to the severity of their impairments. And, it's one of those situations where, like, to be fair, they're looking for fraud. And, you have to understand too, like, Doge came in hard. They were like, hey, we're going to find trillions of dollars worth of fraud, billions of dollars worth of fraud, whatever. And so as a result, they've been on a little bit of a fraud hunt, a similar fault hunt, since this has kind of started. And they've had to downsize their expectations as to what they were going to achieve. So, you have to understand, like, from that perspective, that included with the judges that are kind of restricting their ability to go ahead and have access, the Doge people, the DOGEs, with access to essentially the internal systems of the SSA. Like, you got to understand, they're coming from the perspective of, where are these people that are not really that disabled? And a lot of people are coming from the other side of the perspective where they're like, well, I want to go fishing. I want to ride my Harley around, blah, 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 blah. So what happens is you get a lot of people where, maybe they are disabled, maybe they're not disabled, but they're in that, like, questionable zone, And so the problem is they're looking for those people who might be in a questionable zone. And if they can find some, then they get to add it to the pile of people that they reduced all of this, terrible, horrible, tragic fraud from. So, you got to understand, if they're still looking into you, there is a political reason, there is a financial reason, there is a news publication reason. But at the end of the day, they're trying to go ahead and find their reasons, their answers as to how they can validate the reason for this massive audit of the system. I mean, the reality is, the real gift of an audit is, you're in the green afterwards, but that's not what Americans want to see. Americans want to see, like, they want to see, the person in handcuffs that, they can point to and be like, that person was a fibber, that kind of stuff. And, I just, that's Americans, it's kind of like the Coliseum. They want to see that big, exciting, blah, 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 blah. So from my perspective, if they are in fact still investigating you, if they are in fact still doing those things, just, kind of keep in mind with that whole situation that, at the end of the day, there is an underlying reason for it. And it's not just OIG anymore, Office of Inspector General, reaching out to check. It's more than that. It's beyond that now.
Yes, sir. It's before my CDR review, they were using sheriffs and stuff, and like, just they've got a tracker on my car, which I don't drive, and they got one on my mom's old car, and she's passed away from a heart surgery from unskilled surgeon, but they somehow put something on her car, and I can't find it, but it's on there. They might even have one on my dad's truck. And they're using federal agents because their license plates, they're white and it says government service. And they'll come by my house every day, a couple of times, same trucks. They like trucks. They like the more expensive vehicles, $75,000 trucks. Mm-hmm. And but they'll come by the house if somebody, for a while, if somebody even left out the driveway, and I guess the tracker would pick up and send them a ping to their phone, and they would see somebody's moving, and they would just come by the house, and then they would follow. But they do know when I go to a doctor's appointment, like when I have a doctor's appointment specifically, they'll have people, like 3 people sort of, one outside in like the car, one around the entrance and exit, and then one inside sitting in the waiting room. So I was like, what do they gain if I walk in and out? Like even video me walking in and out to the doctor's appointment. I didn't know if that held any weight to be used against you. Because the scans and the imaging and all the testing I've had, I thought that would be more so along the lines of they would look at that with more evidence than trying to find a way to mold and sculpt something to turn the term of disability off. Have you ever heard of them being able to, and I don't know if you can legally answer this or not because it's a hard question, but has OIG ever tried to wiretap your relative's phone just to like listen to phone calls from a relative if a relative lives with you and takes you to the doctor's appointments if they have like a direct like first line of connection with taking you to the doctors and you live with them? Can they put GPS trackers on your relative's vehicle?
Yeah.
And tap their...
Yeah, I mean, if there's a connection and they have a warrant, it depends on what the state allowances are, you know what I mean? Because state and federal law changes for trackers in different areas. But yeah, they could, if it's somehow related to, following up on what they believe would be fraud, to go ahead and catch on something. Absolutely could. But I tell you what, I'm going to pop to the next caller because I keep clicking the off button from people calling, but I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we will rock and roll from there, okay?
Yes, sir, Attorney Walter. Thank you so much.
Absolutely good, sir. Thank you so much. I'll catch you later and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Perfect. Okay, we're going to wait for the next caller, and then we will go ahead and rock and roll. Let's see what we got going on. Hold on. That's amazing. The moment I click off of that phone call, no additional calls. That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. Let me see if one calls in. We're just going to wait like 1 second, but that is mind-blowing. The moment I click out of that call, it's like, poof, no additional calls. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Click here, speaker on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question?
Hey there. Thanks for answering my call.
Yeah.
So, I just won my case, which is good.
Good.
But I have a couple questions. One sounds a little bit weird. Like I'm this day and age, I'm a little worried about my safety. I would like to try to periodically go to gun ranges to be able to protect myself. Is that
sure.
something
It's
that
proficiency.
can jeopardize my disability?
So I've had this question before, and the answer I would like to give is no, but the correct answer is yes. All right. So when it comes to shooting a gun, It comes down to a lot of proficiency abilities when it comes to eye-hand coordination, being able to pull the trigger, being able to hold it properly, having a proper stance, being able to shoot it consistently, being able to go ahead and stand for an extended period, handle recoil of the, front of it going up, being able to reload it. So, yeah, it can affect your, you know what I mean? So, like, if they get video of you being out there for an hour shooting, reloading, bending down, picking up brass, then yeah, they could use that evidence against you in an ROI situation for sure.
So there's absolutely no way then to practice with guns.
Well, as you know, there are private ranges that would be more restrictive when it comes to a person having the ability to see you at the range. Because remember, they're going to try and get
What
video
is
of
a
you there.
I don't know what a private range is. I'm sorry.
So there's public ranges where anybody can go. And then there are private ranges where only some people can go. And then there are police ranges or cop ranges or sheriff ranges where only they can go. And then there's military ranges, which what goes on there. So the point is, you might want to look into a private range where you pay a monthly fee or a yearly fee to get access to it.
Okay. But it still goes with, it could still be a problem though.
So how would it be a problem? I mean, think about it. Just assume you're going to a private range.
Okay, so they can't get into private ranges then.
Right. I mean, unless they pay and get access to it, or they get a warrant and they know you're going and they show up on that day, and they can search the area, then yeah, they can play the game. But otherwise, no.
Okay. Can I ask another question?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So I'm confused because I got a letter saying that my Medi-Cal started last November.
Okay.
Although I just found out now, and I've had straight my Medicare started last November, and I've had straight Medi-Cal. So does that mean that, do they go back and then Medicare pays, like back pays all that? Because what if they don't cover everything? Am I now liable for costs of things, or how does that work transitioning?
With Medi-Cal, I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I don't study Medi-Cal, and I'm not sure how it's going to interact with the Medicare 24-month rule, the first application, when you're found disabled.
What's
versus
the 24-month rule?
So for Medicare, you're supposed to wait 24 months before you become eligible once found disabled to receive Medicare. So like you look at your AOD, your alleged onset date, and then you go 24 months from that forward.
They said I was eligible last November.
Well, how long ago did you apply?
They said that I started last November, but I was just told that now. Like in less than a week, I was just told that.
How old are you though?
58.
So that means it was disability benefits that did it. Or potentially, well, no, because we're not talking about Title II widows and stuff like that. So, all right. So I guess my question to you is, when did you apply for disability benefits?
About 3 years ago.
Yeah. So, you already waited your 24 months while you're waiting to be found disabled. So you should be okay.
So it doesn't get tricky with having bills now that appear because of that transition. I don't have to worry about any of that. I just call and tell both insurances, or my old, and I just tell Medi-Cal, hey, I've got this new insurance, and then I just move on.
Well, I mean, you got to pay for Medicare, so you're like adding it on. I don't know if Medi-Cal is going to still be around because I just don't study Medi-Cal because it's specific to California. And I mean, I should study it at some point. I
won't have Medi-Cal anymore. That's going to go away.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, if it's going to go away, then you'll just transition into Medicare and, yeehaw.
And then I have some insurance from my previous job. I'm going to have some of that health insurance. Like I have to pick options who are the best people to talk to get to figure out like which plan to get?
Oh, the agents. I mean, so here's the thing. Back office at my firm like just refers people to like, you know, those potential agents. I don't have anything to do with that. When it comes to like, oh, you can go talk to this agent or that agent. I don't do any of that stuff. I just like, just look up some Medicare agents and like, ask them some questions, see if you like them. What I've learned with referrals is that whenever I refer a family member to a professional, the claim always explodes at a nuclear level into a million pieces of what the hell, how could this happen? So, referring other people normally goes fine or to some degree fine, whatever. But the point is, like, you call and ask a bunch of people, hey, what do you think about this situation? What's going to happen? But have 3 test questions, so you can test scientific method the thing out, where they're at on the spectrum of whether or not you're going to like them, not like them a lot. They get everything correct. They got one question wrong. Just have some test questions ready to go ahead and grill them a little bit. Cause these Medicare agents, they're not usually doctorate level individuals.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sounds good. Do you have another caller or can you take another question?
There were like 20 missed calls, but hit me with the next. So I'm actually going to probably switch after this phone call to go live for the next video because we have to look at what the commissioner said in the new interview he did. But hit me with the next question. Go ahead.
So this one it's a little vague, but I have very rare conditions. It was extremely hard to find doctors that understand my conditions. I love my doctors. I have 3 that are just, I travel very far for them and they're the only people I've saw like a gazillion doctors that didn't know what was going on until I saw these. So I really, really, really want to move out of state, but I'm screwed if I lose my doctors, I think. There's no way to keep doctors once you're out of state, right? I don't think there is. Do you have any thoughts or opinions on that?
I mean, are they mental? Are you going to be seeing them through the phone, or is this a physical assessment where you need to be in person?
They're all physical, but I think that I have to physically be in their state to see them. Like if it's a telehealth or something, I have to be calling within the state.
Yeah, I mean, you leave the state. Physical impairment review. You're going to have to go ahead and like get new doctors. So yeah.
That'll be a nightmare. Okay, thank you for your help. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night. Thank you so much.
You too. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. We're going to take one more caller, hopefully a short call, one more caller, and then we're going to take a little mini break, and then we're going to go live and do basically a review of what the brand new commissioner is saying about Social Security benefits. Here we go. Boop. And speaker on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Hi, Walter. I wanted to ask a question. I turned 67 today, but my parents, I used to have a car that was a clutch, and because of my ankle and knee disabilities, I had to get rid of it. And my parents bought me that. Well, they bought that car. The car is not in my name. And then they bought me an automatic, which I can drive, but it's not in my name either. And the insurance isn't in my name either. Is that illegal? Because I just usually go to appointments and stuff with it.
I mean, is it illegal for you to use somebody else's car?
Well, it belongs to my parents, but it's a way for me to get around. Is that illegal with the Social Security?
No, I mean, that's fine.
Because I'm listed as not having a vehicle, but I use it to go to my appointments.
No, I mean, that's
now,
fine. I mean, are you like
okay?
creating something nefarious inside the vehicle? You're not like selling things from the vehicle in a shady way? Like you're walking up to people and be like, hey, you want to buy some candy? None of that?
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm singing. Maybe that's nefarious.
I'm telling you, those notes, they get them high. So, all right, with that said, yeah, no, you should be fine. That should be totally no issue. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely, madam. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so with that said, we have officially completed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe. Give that like button some real good clickage. Also, if you enjoy these videos where I help people out, please head over to Disability Resolution Law Firm or Disability Resolution Florida. Throw that into Google, do a search, and then throw some stars up there if you like. With that said, I will catch you in the next video. Give me about 15 minutes. I need to rest a little bit. And then at that point, we will be doing a review as to what the brand new commissioner had to say in an interview. And I got to be honest with you, it caught me a little bit off guard because he was actually showing signs of like medical conditions. So this might be a connecting point. I know he talked about some of his like origin story with the prior interviews of what he was saying about his parents, why Social Security is important to him, etc. But I definitely noticed some things that brought some potential concern to me, but considering who he is and what he's done, I mean, he should be okay. So anyways, Attorney Walter Hnot, the most viewed and subscribed to Disability Attorney in America. Please remember, if you have a big question, you can do the 1-hour private session below. Mini contract is in the bio area. And then also, please remember, I try to go live on Mondays and Thursdays to answer questions, just like this one we did right now. You know the rules. Phone goes up here. We do the calls. I will catch you a little bit later. Attorney Walter Hnot, please have a wonderful, wonderful night. But I will be back in 10 to 15 minutes for the last video. I'll catch you a little later and we'll go from there. Thanks so much. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.